the box. So this is what it looks like when you pull it out. And I'm always kind of blown away by how much R&D goes into these styrofoam containers that these planes go in. Like, this is engineered by NASA. Look at that, everything with a perfect little tab piece that you pull out. Sheesh. But all the planes I've gotten never had damage, so I guess it's for a reason. The manual. I don't know if I throw it neatly on the side. All right, time to dig into this. I mean, look at this. You pull this piece out, and these are attached to it. That's pretty cool shipping. More very intricate. This thing's pretty cool. And of course, weighs nothing. All right, the main fuselage. Just and of course, the two wings are tucked in here. Very cute. And then, of course, the wing spar is in there. You go ahead and dig that out. I'm not gonna get it, but yep, exactly. All right, let's dig into the directions. So, first section, safe. Then safe select tips. Tells you about assigning to a switch. Flying in safe select mode. Tells you what it does. Self-leveling. Control input. You know, basically safe mode, then AS3X, control that. Transmitter, bind, and fly. Dual rates, so it goes into this. All your computerized radio settings. So I would normally build the aircraft first and then get into radio stuff, but this way is in the menu. I kind of go through it. So I'm gonna grab the radio. Computerized radio, start with a blank acro mode. I don't know why people do it that way when there's a bind and fly menu in most of these new radios. So like, I hope this is gonna be an easy setup, because I don't know. I don't know. I never searched to see if this was in here, but this is the Eratix. So I'm gonna go into here. I'm gonna it says add new model, sort, import. Okay, what I want to do is a new model, right? So I'm gonna hit add new model. Default, template, bind and fly. This is a bind and fly model, right? So I'm gonna hit bind and fly. So I'm gonna scroll down, or I'm gonna look for what I got. Across the top are all of your brands. So you choose the brand plane you have. This is a E-flite. And then you scroll down and look for what you got. So like C, D, oh, I messed it up. Nope, and of course this would be the one model that I have gotten so far that's not in here. So to make it make sense, what I'm trying to do, when you come in here to do a bind and fly, it will be listed in here, even sometimes with a really cool picture of it. And you just click on it and it loads everything. So in this unlucky event that they don't have it, I'm gonna go back. Then I'm gonna hit template. See what that brings me to. Oh, it says safe, bind and fly. So of course this is the easy setup that I would want, but I'm gonna go ahead and bind and fly because that's gonna give me like a basic set of audio controls and everything, right? So now, all right, this is all my models. So I'm gonna scroll to the end, and then at the end, look at that bind and fly just created. I'm gonna click on that. I'm gonna change the name. All right, Eratix 3D. 3D. I'm hit enter. So nice on there, put the cool little 3D thing. All right, channel mounter. You can change all that if you want. You can also apply a picture if you want. So like, let's see, they didn't have it in the bind and fly, so I doubt they're gonna have it in this list, and I have to do a whole separate, because it'll take too long if I do all this. But you can add a custom picture, and I'll show you that because I do have custom pictures in here. I like these little white backgrounds that they come with, but I like it even better when it's like a plane flying. And that's, I mean, when you got a cool radio, you might as well do cool things, right? So, man, I didn't see any flat foam. Yeah, it's odd. This is not a very brand new aircraft to not have anything on here. So I'm gonna have to put a custom picture, obviously, but I'm just trying to throw anything I can find. Oh, there's something flat. That's not the right model, but nonetheless, it's on here. I'm gonna go ahead and that's it, right? So now I hit that. So then I'm gonna hit back again because I'm on the selected model, and then there it is. Eratix 3D, blah blah blah. So then from here, what you get when you go through that bind and fly, instead of doing it the long way like a lot of people, everybody I see do a video takes you through this long drawn out whole acro model program, and you could do that. It really doesn't take that long once you learn how to manipulate radio. But when I was brand new, I was very aggravated that nobody showed me how to do a bind and fly with the models that were pre-installed in my radio. So you're paying all this money for these fancy radios, they got all these models in them, and you're gonna go through the long way, right? So no. So in this case, you're getting all these switches are already pre-named. So that's the benefit to doing it this way, because you don't have to go back and do an audio event for each one. Some of them are free. Like, you know, it's opposite for me in some cases, like throttle cut and I'll explain that at a later date because everybody seems to want throttle cut in a different position than I do. But anyway, so I like this to be my rate switch, so I can go in here and I can go to let's go to throttle cut first. I like to do the opposite, like I just explained. It's already on switch H, so that's it. It's cool. So go back.
Throttle cut on. Throttle cut off.
All right, so now it's even saying the wrong thing, right? So if I want to adjust that, I hit model adjust. Get out of that. I want to go in model setup, go to audio events, switch change report. That's that. Look for switch H. That's the one we want. I'm gonna click this little arrow to go into H, and then right here I'm gonna edit that because it's in a down position. I want that to be throttle cut, so I'm gonna just erase the off, hit enter, boom. So now it's throttle cut, and then where it says throttle cut on, which I don't want that, I'm gonna put off. I put a 0. Oh no, I didn't. Save. So now
Throttle cut off. Throttle cut.
so now that's the way I want it. And just to explain it in case I don't do a video on it and you wonder what this crazy guy talking about. When I pull my radio out, I want to be able to just flick all my switches forward, like everything up is safe. It's a safe way to start flying. If I had landing gear, this would be landing gear down. Flaps up. You know, so everything basically, and then this throttle being in that position, so I don't have to think about anything. Everything, just swipe everything up and I'm ready to start, so I wouldn't get any throttle. Then when I'm ready to fly, I flick it up. Now I can fly. So that's my explanation. If it makes sense to you, do it. If it doesn't, do it the way you do it, or whoever else you have kind of learned through. But that's my thought trend. I didn't get that from anybody else. It just made sense to me. Alrighty, so I'm gonna go back and deal with all them switches, but basically that's all set up. I'm gonna come back and set up the rates because I want them on this F switch. So you can click right here on dual rates and expo. Right now it's switch. Oh, it's on switch F. So cool. It's already at the right place. I don't want to say aileron because I'm gonna lump all three of my rates into one, right? So I don't want to just say aileron. So I'm gonna come back to audio events, model setup, audio events. I'm gonna hit switch. I'm gonna look for my switch. Oh, there it is, F. I'm gonna hit F, and then I'm gonna take aileron off. And I'm not gonna make you watch all of them, but basically,
rudder high rates, aileron mid rates, high rates.
So it's just gonna say high rates, and then I'm gonna do mid and low. So basically that's how I'm gonna set it all up, and then that'll be it. So it's really hard when you're first learning how to use this stuff, these silly menus and all this, and hopefully me walking you through that part can get you to it. I'm probably gonna come back because it's kind of wonky with the safe. I like safe to be on this yellow switch right here, and let's see if it says something. Let me look into it a bit. Yeah, like I said, I usually do that at the end so that the aircraft can be powered on and blah blah blah. But safe is usually on aircraft that don't have a gear. Safe usually comes in this position.
Gear up, gear down.
It says gear up and gear down now, which is what I would prefer. But safe mode is there a lot of the times, and I don't understand what that's about. Like, why would you want it in a place where something could actually go? Whereas I don't know anything else that goes on this switch, so why would I want to use that one when it's right next to it? So, and then also, it's a little bit further of a reach. Like, see, like when I'm on my stick, I cannot reach that button. But if it's here, now I can be flying and, you know, get kind of used to that. But anyway, just rambling on about what makes sense to me type stuff, because I see a lot of things that I don't agree with and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let's get on to the next step. I'm not going to worry about setting up the dual rates exactly right. You've seen how to do it. That's all that was really important. I'm going to take my time and figure out what I want with that. Control throws is giving you the millimeters to set it at. Receiver section, PMP. Okay, so you got a PMP, battery, arming. Okay, all of that, which shouldn't be in the front, I don't think. Even binding. I'm not going to bind right now. I'm going to bind when the aircraft is ready to fly, or put together at least. So first step in here is to put on the tail. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and power my radio down, so I at least put it to sleep for a minute, so I can not be burning juice the whole time I'm putting this together. Set this off to the side. All right, 2 I'm sorry, M2 screws. All right, let me get this goodie bag here. And I'm not gonna take forever with this video making you watch every little section. I'll just pop in and out for things that are important. So I got a bag of, looks like machine screws, a bag of self-tapping screws, and another bag with 2 machine screws that look similar in size to the others. Nope, they're slightly longer. All right, let me read on this. So the 2 lonely screws that were in a bag by themselves, you could see come out to be roughly look like 10mm, but yeah, no, perhaps a little, but either way, these are shorter, so they obviously couldn't be. Yeah, see how much shorter they are, so they're definitely nowhere near. And I think the 12mm measurement might come from the entire screw, not just the threaded section. Yep, that's what it is, the entire screw from the head on down. All right, the directions kind of cover. I'm looking at the way this is set up, and they got like gray at the bottom of here and red at the top. So the way this is, you can obviously tell that the gray goes down. This is your control surface, so and obviously this has to slide through, so you couldn't go the other way. You got to go from this side to that side, and the directions kind of really covers it great. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to start getting this worked in this tight little fit here. And you don't want to scratch it up, so you got to kind of tread lightly and carry a big stick. All right, I don't see anything in the way. And it's also hazardous doing stuff like this while you're being recorded, because you tend to have cameras in the way. I'm gonna raise this up a little bit. I guess y'all can see that. So I have a little working room here. All right, it's a tight fit. So I'm gonna go ahead and work it in there. All right, it's lying good now. You can see where the screws go. It's cool. Got a little plastic reciprocal. And there's a slot, a very intricate little slot. Let me see if I can show that to y'all. So let me get this. So the place where it goes into, let me see if I can get a little bit more light. Here we go. The place where it goes into, I showed you the screw holes that line up. Oh, let me get this. All right, hard to do by yourself. So I showed you the screw holes that line up, but then there's this little cavity where this little slot on the tailpiece goes in, the horizontal. So I'm gonna get that lined up, and it's got to go into a slot here also. That's what, yeah, really possibly only going in one way and lining up perfectly one way. Very secure though, like unbelievably secure compared to like the other foamies I've looked at, which might just be like the lightest attachment ever, you know, like barely on. And I'm like thinking, man, that thing might fly off in flight. This is definitely not going to fly off in flight. However, by being so secure, I got a good buddy who doesn't believe in securing things like this. He believes if you secure it too well, when you crash, everything breaks. So he actually attaches everything with green tape. So yeah, he takes some green automotive masking tape and he will attach his wings. He has a P-51 Mustang that I would love to have. I mean, I want one of those so bad. My skill level isn't good enough for that stuff yet, so I'm keeping it in my lane until I get there. But he attaches the wing to the P-51 with the green tape and flies it around, and hey, no troubles. I just feel like my luck is so terrible that if I tried that, I would definitely end up losing a wing. Zoom back out. I'm letting you guys see nothing but yellow and red flashes. I'm gonna work this in off camera because you kind of see what I'm needing to do. I need to just get this thing to slide in that slot. So, proven to be not a quickie. Okay, it was much easier to do when I didn't have to worry about fiddling with the camera, but I ended up doing like a shimmy of the tail, the stabilizer, and till I got it over where it needs to go. See if I can show you the close-up of what the finished product looks like, because man, it's so hard when you're trying to look at these videos to see the detail. So if you can let it focus. There we go. That's the little key that you need to slide in. Oh, here, let me use this. Yep, right there. So, and there's the 2 screw holes, and I'll let you see. You can see that that's perfectly lined up in there now. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the first screw in. Alright, so I got the screw in the hole. I'll go ahead and get that put in. It's not biting. It's not biting in that small screw like I want to. I'm gonna get another driver. So I have found that a lot of times you get that little bitty screwdriver because you think that's the right one, but it doesn't lock in well, and you're spending so much time trying to get it to spin, and it's slipping and slipping and slipping. Whereas, man, you get the right size screwdriver, which is this big screwdriver that you would think is way too big for those little screws, and boom, you got the right one. And this, of course, is a number 2, which you would look at that little bitty tiny screw and think, oh no, not a number 2, but it is so positively locked that there's absolutely no slippage or no foolishness. So that's that. So of course I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna put this clevis in there because these things are aggravating to be pulling in and out so many times. I'm gonna wait until I fire up the aircraft before I even set this, because it's probably gonna have to come out, because I'm already looking at this lever is kind of centered right now. If it was put together at the factory like that, centered, then it's not even touching here at a kind of level with the control surface kind of fitment, you see. So it's not even touching, so that means I need to screw it out some, but I don't want to waste my time doing that, because you know this might be off. So I'm going to fire up the aircraft and then do it, which makes more sense. These little wheel, they're so cool looking, but kind of chintzy or cheesy. But this type of plane, it is what it is. So you put them on. Obviously I already looked at it before I stuck it on here, but I obviously wouldn't want to put this one in here, because then the pointy piece would be forward. It wouldn't make sense, right? So boom, 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 get this lined up so that the wheel can roll on the ground. It's upside down. Alright, so I don't know how this does, but it's a very well made looking little piece of equipment. Okay, just kind of slides in there, I guess. Yep, that's it. Snap into place. So I didn't exactly hear a snap, so give it a little bit more, hopefully not at the tune of breaking something. I don't know, it won't pull out, so I think it's in. Just didn't make a very audible snap, I'd say. Oh, I see where it snaps in. There's a, so if you look at this piece, it has a cutout right there, you see it? And this piece has a notch right there, you see it? So it'll make sense when you do slide it in and you're looking at it. In the corresponding, you'll see that you get it past that notch. Let me see if I can get closer on that for people, because I hate when somebody doesn't show you. I don't know why these guys do videos and they do so much stuff and they don't show you the details. Oh, that drives me bunkers. So you get it in that slot, and I don't know if I can actually get that on film by myself. It's very hard, but you see the slot right there, and you see the little notch that locks in. So I'm gonna try to wiggle it till it goes in. All right, so nice, almost there. See it? And you can see it's not quite to the end on that piece either. So I might have to do it off camera because it's so hard to be behind this camera doing it. But you see the concept. Once you lock it into that, so as soon as I pull this from behind the camera, it's going to be easier to work with in hand, and I'll get that done. Yep, went right on in as soon as I could actually hold it straight in front of me. So, but you can see the slot that I was speaking of right there, and that little latch right there goes into the slot. Just a detail that's not a big deal, but like I said, people don't cover that kind of stuff, and I know I like it. I want that kind of stuff. All right, moving on to the wings. Man, look at that control surface. It's out of control. Look at that. So this is obviously going to be the wing for the right side. This is obviously going to be the left, because there's this huge horn and all of the control stuff is on top, and there's the servo, so obviously that's the way it goes. All right, M2 by 8, so that's those smaller screws that we got 4 of. Insert the carbon fiber spar. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and stick it in this wing. There's a hole. Just stick it in. Get it on down. Take the aircraft, stick it in there. Doesn't go very easily. All right. Tight little up and down movement in that channel, and obvious where the the M8 screws are going to go at this point. Feed it in here. There's a little like CA residue, looks like, but just to point out that they're, you know, you're getting something that's not going to be 100% perfect necessarily. I don't think any of them that I've ever gotten were blemish free, I would say. Man, I'm just looking down at the extra parts. Big spenders, they give you one O-ring for the props. Wow. One prop, one O-ring, I guess. Go ahead and thread these in. I'm not gonna make you wait for me to thread these in, but basically I'm gonna put this into this hole and I'm gonna screw it down. Sometimes when these are supposed to go in easy, they end up giving me all kinds of trouble. If that's the case, I'll come back and report it. So I gotta look up this Dynam or whatever the name of the tape is, but you can see my hinge surface and you can kind of see when I fold it. But anyway, there's some of this mysterious Dynam tape, which some people refer to it as like a medical grade type tape. I would imagine that it's just that it's like thick and flexible, but I don't know if it's gonna come off. There we go, we can probably see it from there. But there's a piece of it right here, and it's like epoxied, or I would imagine not epoxy. No, not epoxy, but some type of, if you can see that. Man, you can't see it. I don't know if that's better. See it? Yep, you can see it now. So a piece of it is on this corner, and another piece, yeah, you can see it perfectly. So then, yeah, at the end and the beginning of the hinge to give you a little bit of rigidity, which that's cool. And I really gotta look up what the name of that stuff is and try to buy some, so if I need to do things in the future, I'll have it. The next step, the last 4 screws, are these wing struts. So these are just regular wood screws, pointed screws. They call them self-tapping screws. They can attach to here, and I'm gonna go ahead and get my trusty large size screwdriver and try to get this lined up. Yep, I'm putting the screw forward so that, you know, I don't know, just seems like the way it should be. Get that cinched down. Yep, it's pretty tight because it'll stay in the positions. So now this piece is facing the right way. On the directions, it shows you putting it in the second hole. I'm gonna read into that and see what the purpose of that is, or where should it be, because it's, you know, you could spin it to adjust it. So let's see where I need to be. Okay, so it shows it going into the second hole from the inner side, but they don't even kind of tell you that in the directions. It just says to perfectly with one of the holes, and I don't guess it's really that important. It's just to add a brace so that the wing isn't stressing either direction. The carbon fiber rod should be keeping it fairly straight. I'm gonna hold it like straight horizontal and get these figured out, and then I'll just come back on and when I'm finished with that part and show you. But you kind of see what's going on. They're attached here, and they go into these mounting holes here, which there are a bunch of them. So you just unscrew the clevis until you get where you want. So it was almost perfectly lined up with the hole that they were showing you in the directions, which is the second one from the end, or the closest to the center line of the bird, if that makes more sense to you. So you can see it, just got the screw in there, screw hole facing forward, just like everything else I've done. The next thing goes to these little vortex or side force generators on the wings. So let me get into that. So these have markings on them. See the little left, and it's crazy because like the colors of the bird, like that says left right there, and when you put it in that hole you can end up on a little red. Oh, you can't even see that. Let me see. Yeah, so see how this marked left, sorry, on this side left, and when you come through that hole you're gonna be in this little red section, so that makes sense. And so if you put them on backwards you'd easily see that. And of course on top it's white right here, so bloop, that's it. They're just like not put together or anything, so you whoa, I'm pulling stuff down trying to get a better angle. Alright, you can see it. So I'm just going to separate this enough. Oddly enough, there's nothing in here about any glue or anything. So let me see. Oh wow, yeah, it actually fits pretty tight. So then the outer ones kind of just like correspond to the wing. The gray is at the bottom obviously, and they just go on also, and you cannot see me. There we go. So just being careful not to break the styrofoam. High quality styrofoam. Yeah, it kind of like slides right on in. Vertically set them in place. It doesn't say anything about glue. Oh, okay. For more secure fit, add a drop or two of CA to the top and the bottom of the force generators. I'm gonna probably put a little drop of it because I don't think these are gonna be something that's gonna cause you to make a worse crash. But like this one outside is a little bit loose. Yeah, both of them are pretty loose. So I'm gonna just put one little dab of CA just to not lose them while I'm trying. I don't think they'll be lost in the air. I think more or less it's gonna be I'm just gonna try and sneak it in right there in the crack. Get me a piece of paper towel, because nothing worse than having a brand new bird and getting some CA on it and it being ugly and unsightly. So having said that comment, let's just flip this over. So if there is a CA mess, it'll be on the bottom. How about that? We'll go ahead and put this on this side so I can glue all of them at the same time. Really hard to film things by yourself because you cannot see what you need to see because the camera is where you need to be. please excuse my workbench too. I hope I don't have some nitpicky person watching this who is gonna dog me out for all the stuff I do, but got a lot of projects always going, you know how that is. Alright, flip this over. Try it. Yep, I just dropped the prop. You get over there, buddy. Alright, and this is already kind of loose. Yep. So I'm gonna just put a little strut in there. Ah. Okay. I like to hear the little sound, the sucking of the tip. The CA can be so hard to get out sometimes. Alright, I got a nice little dab there. Let me push this together. Alright. That one actually fits pretty tight. Get an equal dab. Looks like CA always works better when you don't loan it to somebody. As soon as you loan a CA to somebody, it never flows. Not to say that happened with this one, to be honest with you. This one is just getting to the end. I can't do this one on camera, so you saw what I just did. I'm gonna flip it around and do it off camera. Alright, I got that little glabba glue. And the only thing we got left is the prop, the prop's O-ring, and these two connecting rods, which look to be identical, and they are, because obviously go for left and right aileron. So control surfaces. Okay, showing you the holes for each device, so they're already done, and it's all the way to the outside on all of the surfaces on the horn, so that's cool. And then on these is at the top hole on all, so that's easy also. These are one size Z-bend, so I'm gonna Z-bend it in on the, let's see what side they want you on. Usually it's on this side by the servo, and then you, yeah, this side's gonna be this time also. It doesn't really show you that, but yeah. So it was to go up, it was to go down. So in the hole and twist it out. Pretty free. Looks like it's actually pretty close to where it needs to be actually. In the hole. Twist it down. Really free. And also very close to where it needs to go. I would say maybe spot on, as long as the servo is. I'm gonna stick these in because the clevisters are wide open, as you could, I don't know if you could see that, but they're wide open. I don't need to zoom in for that, just to show you that they're wide open. But they're wide open, rubber bands push out the way, and I'm not gonna latch them. I just stuck it in there lightly. So when I do power it up, I'm there. Let me see what's next. I'm not gonna put the prop on right now. I can see this cool little setup where there's two screws. I've seen people say that their screws are loose. I see some Loctite here, so I'm gonna go ahead and get my oh, right size too. Yeah, that's pretty tight. That's pretty tight too, so I don't have an issue with those being tight enough. Alrighty, so let me see what's next. It's probably getting into the whole integrated telemetry. Yeah, I'm about to get to the point where I gotta bind. And next step. Alright, so as usual, same old when you're binding. If you want safe on, you hold the button down the whole time. If you don't want safe, you hold the button for a second and release. So I'm gonna connect this thing up. And then I hope that's coming up. That's the button. I'm gonna push it down. All right, I'm holding it. I'm gonna press bind on the radio. Oh, I made a mistake and release bind, to be honest with you. So you gotta hold bind down.
Binding.
It says
Bind
binding.
complete. DSMX 22 milliseconds. Telemetry.
Okay, so it's done everything you need to do. It went out. It's still beeping though, so maybe when I released the button for a second, I messed it up. I'm gonna try it again.
Battery not charged for flying.
It actually,
Not charged for flying.
I know. So, I don't feel much AS3X going on.
Expert.
Alright, so I'm gonna raise up on the left stick, correct? Of course, if left is correct, right will be correct. On the tail. Okay, remember, we never connected the tail. So obviously that's not gonna work. So, I'm gonna put a good eye on it. I think it needs to be about right there. And I think the linkage needs to come up just slightly. So let me flip this around hard to do on camera. So I don't know what I missed on the whole process of it, but I gotta turn safe mode off, which is on right now. But the other one's a little bit off, you can see. Right there, I don't know if you can see. Right. I gotta get safe off first, so I want to turn safe completely off. I binded it in safe because I want it in safe, right? So now I need to assign it to a channel. Let me get the aircraft out the way. So, up at the top, there's these menus. If you had the other kind of radio, it's still in there. It's just different. It looks different, but everything ends up the same. The DX, the NX or DX series, ESC battery cell, gyro, G-force, avion program. We don't want to do any of that. Gyroscope, cell voltage. It's got the 3 cells. That's nice. All of them don't do that. Battery, ESC, smart, telemetry, or dashboard. All right, let's see. Let's go into here for programming. Gyro settings. Wait, what was that? Something was at the bottom. Show advanced menus. Okay, we're gonna put that active. So gyro settings, AS3X, AS3X gains, flight mode 1, priority, flight mode 1. Okay, I don't know what that's about. Safe select. It's inhibit for channel. Safe is on. Safe select on. So instead of inhibit, I'm gonna go ahead and hit that. Then I'm gonna hit this switch. Let me show you at the same time.
In expert. It's safe.
So now it's called AUX2. So
Enter safe.
that's where I want it at, is in the down position, because everything forward, remember, that's all safe. Then I hit OK. Hit back. Let's hit other settings just to see what's in there. Fail safe, initiate, receiver buy mode, frame rate, factory reset, restore from backup. Okay, stuff that I've never seen before. Alright, now I should have that safe mode applied to the switch instead of on all the time. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the motor, just nothing.
Throttle cut off.
Cut. Sounds cool.
Throttle cut.
So alright, safe is working. Turn it all the way up. It's jittering for like AS3X, but it's not. And the control surface is off the chain. So like
Safe.
in safe mode, we got that much control throw. Turn safe off.
Expert.
A ton more throw. So now in expert mode, nothing should be moving because it only moves in safe mode. You can see the control surface is slightly off. Nope, this one looks actually pretty good. This side, oh, it's so hard to film by yourself. See how far it's off? It's like way off, so I gotta raise this up some. So I'm just gonna release it from the clevers, which is not even clamped down, and tighten the screw a little bit. I'm not gonna leave that on camera because it's too hard to do, and you already know what I'm doing. So it was a little off on both sides. I already adjusted the other side, so I'm gonna try and just put this, since I'm doing it, it's a little bit low right here. Like you can see my finger hits it, so I just want to raise it up, so which means I need to tighten this. So I'm gonna hold this piece right here because it wants to spin. I don't want to break it, so I'm gonna hold this. Just put a turn on it, 2 turns. I'm gonna take a look. It's still down ever so slightly. One more. Looks pretty good now. I like to hit the sticks a little bit and let it fall where it rests, just to see if it's, you know, because sometimes it might be slightly off when you like adjust the stick in one direction or the other. This case I'm centering pretty good on both. So I can put the prop on now, but like you can see, like, man, you get that little movement when safe and everything rather. So then when you click off that safe, look at that.
Expert, expert, expert.
All control surfaces. Wow, the rudder is amazing. So let's just put the prop on so we can take a look at how it looks. So not really much to here. There's a little piece that keeps it from wobbling on the shaft there. So then I'm gonna take and just capture one of the screws and then come across and kind of get it on the other screw, but it's gonna take some force. So of course the camera's in your way when you're trying to film yourself, and everything ends up being harder while you're trying to get on camera. So I'm just gonna stand up. You can see the concept, one screw to the other screw, and ultimately that's what you end up with. Alright, let's hit the throttle cut.
Throttle cut off.
Raise this up a little bit. Oh yeah, this sucker got an incredible amount of power trying to pull away from my hand. So
Throttle cut.
other than setting up specifics as far as rates go and such, check the book, make sure, but that's it. So the CG is 79 plus or minus 7 millimeters, so that's pretty giving. And it looked like it's coming from this flat edge on the bird, so not anything else, just basically the flat edge. So that's that. And of course, the way the battery straps on here, you can easily adjust it. You're not limited. I mean, I just got it, pay no attention to the way I got my battery, I just got it sitting there because I was binding it and such. But there's a piece of Velcro there, and oh no, you really don't have unlimited area because you can only go from this motor mount back to this piece of foam. And I guess in a situation you could cut that foam out. The way I see an open plug here, it's probably the bind plug or the programming for the ESC. So anyway, that was kind of neatly tucked in there, but yeah, you can adjust your CG. I think I'm gonna mark mine underneath the bottom of the wing inconspicuously. So if you go to model adjust, there's this dual rate and expo, you hit that, and aileron already, it's already on aileron, switch F 0, 1, 2. So I'm gonna hit it. You don't need to see me hitting it, but it's F, right?
Mid rates, low
so
rates.
basically you can see it goes from high to mid.
Mid high rates.
to low, right? I don't want 3 separate switches, which might be the way they kind of did it in that binding fly that you got. So then I'm gonna hit this. I'm gonna hit elevator. It's on switch C. I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna hit the switch I want.
Mid rates. High rates. Mid rates. Low rate. High rates.
Alright, so then we'll scroll up. Elevator.
Mid rates.
Mid rate elevator, switch
High
F,
rates.
F,
Mid rate.
F.
Low rates. Mid rate. High rates.
So,
Mid rates. Low rates.
wow, 50% on the elevator.
Mid high rates.
Alright, so I'm gonna hit rudder. G.
Mid high rates.
Alright, switch to F. Rudder. 100%, 10% expo. Switch F.
Mid rates.
Mid rate.
Low rates.
Low rate. So in the book, they are recommending, whoa, some light on this. High rate at 100. Elevator, aileron, elevator, rudder. All of them. They're not making you do separate ones like they set it up in their binding file for some reason. But 70, then exponential 30 on high, expo on high, 30. So let's see what we got here.
High rates.
On high rate, we got expo at 10%. They are recommending expo at 20% at low rate. I'm sorry, yeah, 30% on high rate. So I'm gonna change this. You can also use this button. Expo on high rate 30. Rudder. Elevator. Oh, let me get you in the picture there, huh? No, I'm too far. 30. Okay. Alright. Rudder. 30. Elevator. 30. Aileron. 10. 30. Alright, okay. So then when you go to the second switch position, they only have 2 rates. So this one covers a 70%.
Low rates. Mid rate.
Wow.
High rates.
I don't think I'm going to want to fly at that low. So I'll probably do 80% for this. Alright, and then okay. And then let's do 10% expo. Let's do 20. Okay. Then aileron, elevator, 80. You kind of get it, right? I don't need to go through each of these. I'm just going to make them all match. So I'm going to come back after that. So for my low rate, I'm going to go to 70, which I'll find out how this aircraft rocks. 0 expo. I'm going to try that. Rudder. 50. Wow. Dual rates, I'm going to bring that up to 60.
Mommy.
Aileron 50. Elevator 60. Rudder 70. I think I'm going to change this low rate to all 70s. Let's see. Rudder 70. Because I find 70 to be very low when I'm flying. I'm not a good pilot, so, you know, whatever. I could always adjust, you know. Alright, no expo on the low rates because they're already low. I guess we'll figure it out. So
Mid rates. High rates. Mid rates. Low rates.
alright, So that's it. That's all you need to do to set up your dual rate. And if you don't really understand it, don't worry about it, because I don't understand it either. It's just something that I know works. You know, when you're flying and you change them, trust me, it works. Just try it out and do it. Alright, so the CG, get this flipped over. I just marked exactly the point of the CG, not worrying about the plus and minuses. And I tried initially with the battery push forward as it would go. Same as you see it now. Like there's a little area right behind the motor mount where it's not really touching the motor mount. It's another, like the screw hole for the motor mount. The screw hole for the motor, sorry, is actually there. So, man, it's so dark. Let me see if I can get this. So, see if I can get that light in there. Yes. So you see the gap where the screw hole is. So there's a little gap, but I found that I pushed it all the way. I pushed it here, and it was perfectly balanced. I said, well, let's see what it does when it's all the way back. And it's so dramatic that that small bit of area here, when that battery was pushed, I actually flipped the battery around and put the flat part of the battery that way with the wire up top, and it was so tail heavy at that point. So I think you'd want to fly this one pretty much forward like this, or maybe play with it slightly back, but not too far back. So that's where I ended up, and I am definitely a novice beginner, so I don't want tail heavy stuff, because I've heard it's a bad thing. So that's where I'm at with that.